Hey guys, it's Sim and this is Pro Wrestling Unlimited, as it's Wednesday and we're here to talk about AEW Dynamite. Also, why is this cutting off my head? Let's move the camera up just a smidge. It was fine a second ago, and then I think when I got up to go to the restroom and then sat back down differently, or I was sitting different in my chair. There we go. We're here to talk about AEW Dynamite. I thought it was a pretty good show. Kind of by the books, but they had some good storytelling. I will say that for sure. They had some good storytelling. And the main event, I wasn't really into that finish. I'm going to say right now, wasn't really into the finish of the main event. Kind of just came out of nowhere. And maybe I'm just over this series already. This was the third match we've seen. I want to say it's the third match. Yes, it's the third match we've seen from these teams. And it's like, I'm kind of getting tired of it already. It's kind of just getting samey, to be completely honest. But we'll talk about why I really didn't like the finish here in a little while. But overall, I thought it was a pretty good episode of AEW Dynamite. So with that, I want to say thank you if you're watching live, twitch.tv/PW Unlimited. I also want to say thank you if you're watching or listening later, whether that's youtube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited or podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Remember, if you are watching live on Twitch, you can help us out a couple of different ways. You can either help us out by hitting that donate button down below or by donating Twitch bits in the live chat. Also, remember, you can help us out by subscribing to the channel one of two different ways. You can either subscribe with a tiered subscription, or you can subscribe with Amazon Prime. Because remember, if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming gives you a lot of cool things like free games, free stuff for games, and they always give you one free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to subscribe to throughout the month. And I'd greatly appreciate it if you did right here, Pro Wrestling Unlimited. But remember what I said, free games. Prime Gaming gives you free games. Well, you only got a day and a half to get those free games. And then they're going to shift to new free games. And the new free games are, I'm trying to pull them up right here. I know I saw the list. Prime. Let's Google search it because the link I had is not working anymore. Prime Gaming free December 2022. Here we go. Amazon's free games for 2022 are. Oh, these are some good ones. We're getting Spinch Brothers, which is really good. Quake. Why is this not? We get Spinch Brothers, which is a really good game. Quake, The Amazing American Circus, Banners of Ruin, Desert Child, Doors Paradox. You're also going to get free stuff for Grand Theft Auto Online, League of Legends, Royal Royale, FIFA 23, Fall Guys, Dead by Daylight, Apex Legends, and so much more. But also remember, you can support us over on Twitch a number of different ways. You can either hit the donate button, you can subscribe, or you can go over to YouTube and become a channel member. Because as a channel member, you get early access to news, early access podcast episodes, early access non-news videos, and so much more. We just put up a video or a news story yesterday about a return possible for the Raw 30th anniversary special. And then also this week, you guys got access to our project files for our Survivor Series graphics. You can get all that as well by heading over to patreon.com/PW Unlimited. Remember, get all this exclusive content as either a YouTube channel member or at patreon.com/PW Unlimited. And remember, who else, A, is creating their own custom graphics for their news stories here on YouTube, and B, giving you access to those files as well? No one. It's just me. The freaking 13, 14-year graphic design, guy. Everyone else just turns their camera on and goes, let's just talk. No production value, really. It's just, hey, what's going on, And so it's like, I try to do more as far as the graphics go and the production into my streams and whatnot. Hence why I learned OBS and not use just, anyway, I can go down a tangent about how lazy some of these people have been with the way they create their content, but that's neither here or there. especially when they steal my graphics with no credit. But again, that's another story. But also remember to head over to the Epic Game Store. Head over to the Epic Game Store and buy something. Whether you're buying a new game, whether you're buying an old game, whether you're claiming a free game or getting bucks for Rocket League, Fortnite, Fall Guys, or Rumbleverse, use our code PW Unlimited at checkout, and you will be supporting us right here with no extra cost to yourself. Again, use code PWUNLIMITED at checkout for all Epic Games and Epic Game Store purchases. But with that, we've got Dynamite to talk about. That kicked off with one Jon Moxley, or as Justin Roberts likes to say, Jon Moxley. Calls him Gian. Always with the Gian. Anyways, Dynamite opens up with Excalibur welcoming us alongside Tony Schiavone and Taz as Wild Thing is playing in the background. Moxley comes out and says that his career has been a crazy ride, never knowing what's around the corner, as three certainties: death, taxes, and Jon Moxley are always around. He said no one can outwork him, and he remains the top of the AEW food chain. Moxley said no man has the balls to tell him different. He said there's nobody in this company, in this building, within 100 feet or miles or whatever, I think it's 100 miles of this building, that can tell me any different. And then we hear, out comes the Hangman. Hangman makes a beeline for the ring as Excalibur goes, oh, last I heard, this man isn't cleared. This man is not cleared. So they get in the ring, or Hangman gets in the ring and has a stare down with one Jon Moxley. Let me grab a bottle of water really fast. Yes, I keep a whole case of water right next to my desk. So they're in the ring, and Moxley's basically like, hey, did you forget what happened last time we were in this ring together? Or no, you want to happen last time? He said something along the lines of, do you want the same thing to happen that happened last time? He pauses and goes, oh, wait, do you just not remember? And Hangman rolls back and boom, just cold cocks Moxley right in the jaw. Moxley goes down. Moxley falls out of the ring, and Hangman goes directly after him. Start brawling all around the ring, and everybody comes out to break it up, officials and referees and so forth. So they separate the two, and they keep on brawling again. Then they separate the two, keeping Moxley down by the ring and bringing Hangman up to the top of the ramp. And then all of a sudden, we see some of these security guys turn around and go, whoa, no! Moxley's running up the ramp, but he's running up the side of the ramp, takes a step off the ramp, falls off the ramp onto the steel grate, and then gets back up and brawls more with Hangman before they break everything up. This then leads directly into our first match, Bryan Danielson versus Dax Harwood. But that opening segment was freaking great. This was awesome. I thoroughly enjoyed this, especially since, it was nothing we were expecting as far as Hangman coming back. Give me 1 second, I have to respond to a message. So, as far as this all goes, great to see Hangman back. They said he wasn't cleared, and then I think it was Excalibur then goes, oh, wow, and he wasn't cleared last I heard, unless he was cleared last minute or something. I loved that. I thought that was a great call. To just be like, yeah, maybe he is cleared. So going forward, we had Bryan Danielson versus Dax Harwood. Such a good match. And give me 1 more second. All right, there we go. Sorry, I'm doing like 3 things at once. I know I shouldn't, but I've got a freaking client from a photo shoot freaking hounding me for edits and whatnot. I'm like, hey, I told you I'd get them to you by Friday morning or Thursday morning. It ain't Thursday morning yet. They're like, we need him now. I'm like, I told you Thursday morning. You said that was okay. So, yeah. So, early on, how Harwood countered the ground game and strikes by Danielson as these two had this is awesome chant, like, before they even did a complete, like, collar and elbow tie-up. They were just doing groundwork, and the crowd loved it, which it was good. Each man countered a lapel lock and a sharpshooter attempt. You know, Brian going for the lapel lock, Dax going for the sharpshooter. Danielson hit a kick to the face at one point, and then Danielson lit up Harwood in the corner with some strikes. He did a moonsault out of the corner, but Harwood got an O'Connor roll into a crossbody off the second for a close near fall. Danielson then low-bridged Harwood to the floor, where he smacked his hip on the edge of the ring. It looked like it hurt. As he followed up with a tope by Danielson that sent Harwood into the front row. Right as they went to a commercial break, Harwood hit a suplex in the crowd on Danielson. Back from the break, Danielson broke the count, and Harwood stayed on the attack with some strikes and 3 rolling German suplexes. Harwood briefly went to the top rope, but thought otherwise as a series of reversals led to a perfect pile driver by one Dax Harwood for a 2. Harwood then missed a top rope headbutt. Oops. Spilt that water everywhere. Harwood went for a headbutt. I just lost my spot. As Danielson hit his signature running knees off the apron to the floor. Harwood then went for a superplex, but Danielson crotched him and hit some anvil elbows and a back superplex, for which Harwood rolled through as Danielson got a 2. Both men then rolled their, give me 1 second. Okay. Both men rolled their knees and started rolled to their knees and started headbutting each other before they started no-selling lariats until both started getting spaghetti legs. Like they were beating the crap out of each other where they couldn't stand. Neither man could stand. Each tried a home run shot, and both collapsed simultaneously to the mat with another double down. Harwood blocked a home run kick. He tried to go for a slingshot powerbomb, and Danielson rolled through with a high kick. Danielson hit his kicks, went for the Busaku knee, and Harwood countered into a slingshot powerbomb into a sharpshooter, which is really cool. They did a crazy amount of inside cradle spots here, back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, until Danielson finally sank in the label lock, and Harwood was made to tap out. So there we go. Dax Harwood does end up tapping out to one Brian Danielson. Now, Danielson getting beat up bad plays in to something that happens later. We'll get into that. Backstage, Ricky Starks is with Tony Schiavone. Also, before we can talk about this, we have to talk about the Diamond Ring. So, they've changed up the Dynamite Diamond Ring Battle Royal. What it is now, so the last 3 years, MJF's the only one to ever win it. So they've changed it. Now that MJF's the world champion, he's not allowed in the match, but he's still allowed to hold the ring. What they're doing is the winner of the Battle Royal then gets to challenge MJF, not for his belt, but for his ring, anytime they want. So whether that is, like Ethan Page says later, at Winter is Coming, but after the world title match. And so we don't know exactly who's all going to be in the Battle Royal, but we do know that at least, and they gave a graphic with some faces on it, we do know at least Jungle Boy Matt Hardy, Sean Dean, Brian Cage, Ricky Starks, Ethan Page, and Dalton Castle will all be in this Battle Royal, among others. The winner does not get the Diamond Ring, as MJF has gotten in the last 3 years from winning the Battle Royal, but instead, he will get the chance to challenge MJF for the Diamond Ring. Diamond Ring doesn't mean shit, crap, anything. Like, the ring means nothing. So I honestly don't care. Like, who's going to be satisfied with, oh, I get to challenge MJF? Oh, it's for the ring, not the belt. Also, they're going to really let somebody beat MJF for the ring while he's world champion? That'd be the dumbest thing they can do. Oh, yeah, let's have our world champion lose. He's going to lose his ring? Like, what? So then he loses the ring, and then that person can go, well, I beat MJF, so am I the new number one contender? You know, I beat the champion, so should I get the title? Yeah. This whole diamond ring stuff, it was okay the first time they did it, and then they gave it to MJF, and he used it. But to keep doing it and to keep putting it on MJF was dumb as fuck, because it tells us that this means nothing. And now, oh, you're going to challenge MJF for the diamond ring while he's world champ. Ain't no one beating this motherfucker for the ring. Oh, it's stupid. Backstage, we got Ricky Starks and Tony Schiavone. Starks said that he is entering into the Dynamite Diamond Battle Royal because he doesn't just want to beat MJF for the world title in 2 weeks. He wants to take everything from MJF, whether that is his belt, his ring, or more. It was kind of confusing because then I'm like, oh, so he thinks he's going to win. And then when he wins, his match, this is the only way that actually works. Because no one thinks Ricky Starks is beating MJF for the belt. Like, if you think that, you're dumb. But the one thing that works the best, Ricky Starks wins the Battle Royal. Then his world title match is for the world title and the diamond ring. It gives him a big win going into the title match for momentum. And then he loses. And then we don't have to have somebody else come in here and challenge MJF for that damn ring. So Ricky Starks challenges for both, loses. We're out. We're good. We're done. I think that's how they should do it. Starks, for a multitude of reasons, should be the one winning the Battle Royal. I think. That's just my opinion. Back from a break, Hangman is being escorted out of the building when all of a sudden up comes Jon Moxley. He attacks Hangman yet again. They start going at it. Page then chucks Moxley into the garage door. Then in an interesting move, they say, now we're going to send it over to our colleague Renee Young, who was in our soundstage in Nashville, Tennessee. And I'm like, what? Soundstage in Nashville? What is this? This is different. I've never noticed this before. So they didn't bring Renee to Indianapolis for the show tonight. They had her go with a bunch of other people. Like, this was weird. Especially because I just didn't like any of this. I didn't like any of this at all. She did a sit down where on one side was the JAS, Daniel Garcia, Jake Hager, Matt Menard, Jeff Parker. The other side was the Blackpool Combat Club, Claudio Castagnoli, and Wheeler Yuta. Menard starts running his mouth immediately, and Renee tells him, hey, you need to shut up. Hager then tossed the hat to Hager tosses Castagnoli his own purple hat and said, you can wear this when you lose to Jericho and join the JAS. And then, like, they're trying. This is so dumb. Wheeler Yuta and Claudio are trying to be serious here. And you have fucking Jake Hager going, man, I love this purple hat. Man, this purple hat's great. I love this purple hat. This purple hat's so good. I love this purple hat. I'm like, God, this is the dumbest fucking waste of time. And it wasn't even, at the moment I thought it was, but it wasn't on this show. And they're going back and forth and this and that. And we finally learned that Garcia and Hager are going to team up to take on Claudio and Wheeler next week. Claudio then throws a big ass fit, throws his chair and this and that. And he does the thing of, I'm tired of talking. I'm tired of, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm tired of being in interview segments. I'm tired of having to stand around with a microphone. I want to fight. And so he makes the thing for the tag. Also, Kid Vicious, I have short hair. What do you mean I have short hair? Oh, yeah. Does that look like short hair to you, bud? Does that look like short hair to you, bud? What short hair? What short hair? That short hair to you, bud? Oh, grade A mullet. Be called the best haircut in the world. So, got that. Also, we did learn because Wheeler said, you know, I want you in that Pure title. So, Tony Khan just don't know how to book the Pure title. What is this, like the fifth time? You can correct me in the comments or the chat below. What is this, like the fifth time we've got Wheeler Yuta versus Daniel Garcia for the Ring of Honor Pure Championship? Like, come on, TK. Come up with another idea. I know you're stretched thin, bud, but it's like, fuck. Either come up with something else or let somebody else book Ring of Frickin' Honor. Like, come on. Come on. So then we had the newly signed AR Fox challenging the double champ Samoa Joe for only the TNT Championship. Ring of Honor TV title, not on the line. Not on the line. So Fox did a handspring enziguri to send Joe to the outside early on. He then hit a dive, and Joe sidestepped him, and he kind of just rolled through it. Joe thought he outsmarted Fox when he didn't. Back inside the ring, Joe immediately took control with strikes and a running senton. Joe controlled the entire commercial until Fox mounted his comeback as he fought out of the corner with a leaping DDT. Give me 1 second. I need to block somebody here in the chat. Like we don't talk like that. We don't talk like that here. That's very no. Yeah, you're gone, bud. You're gone, bud. I'm talking about cock rings. No. Fox hit a low cutter and a top rope 450 splash for a near fall on Joe. Fox went to the top again, but Joe sidestepped the somersault dive and launched Fox with a pounce into the ropes. Joe then hit a muscle buster and picked up the victory. So post-match, Joe declared himself the king of television before Wardlow would interrupt on the big screen and said that he's coming for what is his. This is Wardlow's world. And Wardlow looked like he was just coming from a damn Hallmark movie. One of them damn Lifetime Christmas movies. Like, geez, this man dressed up super fancy nice like it's cold. Got the turtleneck, and then he's got the fancy jacket over it. Like, oh, come on, guy. Come on, guy. Kivish says, you're right, Tim. You do have a mullet. Of course I'm right. I know how I get my own haircut. He says, I gotta admit your mullet looks great. Well, thank you. I really do appreciate that. Took me like a year to find someone that knows how to cut one right, because everyone's cut them wrong until this new guy I found. So I'll drive 30 minutes to get this guy to cut my hair again next time. I usually don't get my hair cut for like 2-3 months at a time. Because my hair grows quick, but not quick enough to where it's like I need a haircut again, because I wear a hat so much that I don't mind if the top doesn't get manageable. Whatever. And then, yeah. When it's fine and too unmanageable, then I'll go get a haircut. So I don't get a haircut every month, but damn Supercuts always raising their prices. I remember like a year and a half ago, it was less than $20 to get a haircut from Supercuts. I went the other, like 2 weeks ago, week and a half ago, $27. 27 freaking dollars. All right, we're gonna ban this guy too. We got some trolls in the chat tonight. As we move forward, we got a Powerhouse Hobbs video. Just talk about his journey in AEW. Taz then shows us Hook highlights. We see him defending the FTW Championship against Lee Moriarty and how he countered Moriarty into Red Rum at Full Gear. Then MJF comes out. This was really good. Regal made his way out to the ring as Excalibur mentioned how Jon Moxley is not in the building. But I'm like, so Moxley told Regal not to come back. So did Regal like not come to the building until he knew Mox was gone? Like, that didn't make much sense. So they were just backstage coexisting before all this? What? Huh? So Regal makes his way out to the ring. Regal comes slithering into... Oh, okay, I wrote this wrong. Yeah, I wrote this way. I don't know why I wrote this like this. He introduces MJF, who threw his gum at a little girl. MJF explains how he and Regal's union came to fruition. Regal emailed MJF about the firm attacking him and said MJF became weak and he's willing to help him learn how to become a true villain. He shouldn't he shouldn't grab the Dynamite diamond ring, but the brass one instead. A lot of WWE references here. A lot of WWE references in this. So again, brass ring, that's WWE reference. Vince McMahon. Regal wanted MJF to use the brass knucks and leave Moxley with an emotional scar when he was outsmarted by MJF. He said he respects the firm, who smelled blood in the water, but he's not going to chase them down as effort is for pores. Whenever MJF said the AEW title is tacky, he needed an upgrade. No former champion was on his level. MJF then threw the old belt down and Regal presented him with the Triple B Big Burbery belt, as the leather straps on the belt are designed to look like his Burberry scarf. So there's your Triple H reference. There's another one coming too. MJF runs down Eddie Kingston, Ricky Starks, and fake wrestlers like Bryan Danielson. MJF said that Regal tried with Danielson, but some people just can't be helped. MJF will be the champion until the bidding war of 2024, and the title will be the bargaining chip. And MJF mentions that Nick Khan and his boy Trips are as being some of the bidders, but also mentions Hollywood's calling. You know, he's going to be in that big A24 movie, The Iron Claw, playing the fake Von Erich. MJF said that the fans who cheer for him winning, they're fickle and will complain just like everybody else. MJF says he's a bigger star than anybody. Hulk Hogan, JBL, and Jeff Jarrett. And said that his reign will be bigger and more outlandish or something like that. He says, my reign will be bigger and more something than Bruno Sammartino, and it'll make him roll in his grave. He would then go on to talk about how I don't need to be here every week. I'm the champion, yes. You guys work on my time. I'm not going to be appearing every week. I'm not going to be defending my title every week. I only defend my titles on big shows and pay-per-views. MJF then turns and thanks Regal before ending this. Because he was ready to, he's like, all right, now I'm done. And he goes, wait, I got one more thing to say. And he thanks Regal for what he did. And then attacks Regal with the brass knucks from behind. Regal then just, pooah, and is just dead. Dead on the mat. MJF then gets down to Regal's level as Regal's laying there face first. And basically said, you thought I had a lot to learn, but it is you who made a deal with the devil. MJF quotes Regal's message to him years ago and said when Regal is ready, to send him his stuff. MJF left the crowd and Bryan Danielson sprinted down to the ring to check on William Regal, and they let us know MJF is smart for coming out when he did because Moxley is gone and he knew that Danielson was being looked at in the trainer's room. Danielson was not readily available to just run out at any time. He had to come from the trainer's room. So I'm like, okay, I guess you could say all that. Whatever, cool. So then they get Regal, and they roll him over onto a stretcher. They put a neck brace on him that doesn't go on him right, and it's like, versed off against his face. And so they finally fix the neck brace once they get him out of the ring on a stretcher, and he's bleeding from the mouth. And I'm like, ooh, blood pack or real blood? Hopefully it's just blood pack. And like they're putting Regal on the stretch and the crowd's like silent almost, not knowing what to think. So before the next match begins, which is Ricky Starks versus Ari Daivari, out would come Stokely Hathaway and Ethan Page. And Matt Hardy runs out between them. He's like, Viwana! And Stokely goes, boy, get your ass to the back. You don't need to be out here. I died the way he said it. He's just like, boy, get your ass to the back. Well, I'm just dying. So they're doing all this. And basically it's just Ethan Page saying, you're not going to win the diamond ring. I'm going to win the diamond ring. And then after MJF beats you to retain the title, a winner is coming. I'm going to come out and challenge him when he's already had a match and tired. and win the diamond ring. So, cool. He then says that Ricky Starks can't hack it, and Ricky Starks beat Ari Daivari in like a minute and a half. Backstage, Tony Schiavone was with the AEW Women's World Champion Jamie Hayter, and to be honest, even though Hayter's got the belt on her shoulder, you would think the champion was Britt Baker. I'm kind of a little over this whole Jamie's the champion, but Britt Baker's still the star. Britt Baker's still the attraction. It's still all about Britt Baker. So hopefully that is leading to something, maybe in turn of Jamie mad that Britt's trying to take her spotlight, and then Jamie turns babyface and goes her own separate way from Britt. I hope that's where this is leading to, because this is just stupid. We all know that Tony Khan's favorite female is Britt Baker. That's his favorite female in the company. Yet, don't have her overshadowing your fucking world champion and making your world champion not really seem like a world champion and just a chick with the belt on her shoulder that means nothing, because that's what she feels like right now. A chick with the belt on her shoulder that means nothing. Because like last week, the first Dynamite after she won the belt, they were in a triple threat tag team match. Why? Because Britt said something on social media. Not because Jamie did anything. Not because the champ did anything to facilitate getting into that match. No. And then this week, it's all about Britt Baker. Because like, Tony Schiavone's like, I'm here with Britt Baker, the champion, Jamie Hayter, and Rebel. And she goes, excuse me, Tony, you know, it's Dr. Britt Baker. And then Jamie says a couple of things in the promo, and then Britt's got to end it with, yours truly, Britt Baker, or Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. So it's like, come on. Oh, no, that's what it was. Jamie was like, screw Saraya and her sit down. Tony, I want you to sit down with me next week. So, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about this overshadowing the champion with Britt Baker. Unless it's going to lead to Jamie breaking off from her and turning baby. Next up, we have Willow Nightingale and Anna JAS. Match not all that good. Crowd was firmly behind Willow, but I mean, they were behind Willow, but that doesn't mean anything when they weren't really reacting to much. Like, they didn't care about this match much at all. Willow Nightingale showed off her power early on with some shoulder tackles, a short arm lariat, and a low cross body for a 2. Nightingale missed a corner charge as Anna Jay hit a spinning kick and a blockbuster to gain control during a commercial break. Both ladies traded forearms until Nightingale hit a corner splash, a big boot, and a spine buster for a near fall. Anna Jay hit a back kick and a nasty looking slam. It just didn't look good, but Nightingale kicked out, and the crowd was vocally behind her at this point, as they were for the whole match. Nightingale got out of a Queen Slayer attempt. I mean, why don't more people do this? Fucking Anna Jay jumps on her back and grabs like this. So Willow just goes, huh? Boom! Drops to her back, and there we go. She knocks Ty Mello off the apron, who jumps up and ultimately flattens Jay with the Doctor Bomb to pick up the victory. So there we go. Willow Nightingale picks up the victory. This match means nothing because it was all about the post-match. So Ty Mello jumps in the ring to help Anna Jay. And she gets Anna Jay out of the ring, and all of a sudden we hear Ruby, 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 Soho. Ruby, 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 Soho. And Ty's in the ring going, Ruby's back. Let's go. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. And all of a sudden the crowd, yeah, Ruby's in the ring. Ruby's just behind her in the ring. Ruby cold cocks her. They fight on the outside. Ruby lays her out. And there we go. There we go. Then we get Taz. Ruby, 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 Soho. Ruby, 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 Soho. Because Taz loves singing that song. That was it. They're like, great to see. Ruby Soho was back after being out for months with a broken nose. Video highlighting the return of House of Black last week before Tony Schiavone is backstage interviewing QT Marshall and Orange Cassidy. QT Marshall's like, hey, I want a shot at the All-Atlantic Championship. And before he can even finish the sentence, Orange Cassidy's like, all right, you got it. He's like, oh, I want to do it on Rampage. All right, sure. But not in just any regular match. I want this to be a lumberjack match. And Orange Cassidy's just like, hey, we'll just do this on Friday. You got it. I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. It's QT Marshall versus Orange Cassidy in a lumberjack match for the All Atlantic title on Friday. The All Atlantic title means shit. Rampage means shit, to be completely honest, so I don't care. You know what else sucked on this show? Because it was like, half the show was really good. There was no middle on this show. It was either stuff was really good on this show or it just sucked. And this freaking Jade Cargill segment sucked. This was so bad. This horrible, horrible segment. Jade comes out with Red Velvet and Layla Gray, confettis, balloon, a cake. Jade then goes on to say, I'm the biggest star here in all elite wrestling. It don't matter. I put asses in seats. You could put me up against any wrestler in the back, and the common fan is going to say that I'm the star over every single one of them. She then gets mad because she goes, last week I had to do what I had to do, and we got rid of some unwanted trash. Then she looks around and she goes, but why did I see you two hanging out with her over the weekend? If that's how this is going to be, I could dump you all. Cameraman, show my baddies. And then they show like these 4 women in the front row. And I'm just like, God, this is bad. God, this is bad. She goes, you all eating out of me. I mean, from me. I'm like, what? Eating you out? What? Whoa. She then says that she creates careers and calls Lil Bow Wow a joke. And then Lil Bow Wow up on the screen. He's like, hey, my tour's done, which means I can come see you soon. And then he's just like, and maybe I'll have somebody with me or something like that. And then like no one says anything for a second. And the crowd, you could hear crickets. You could hear if I dropped a pen. Like, where did the pen go? I just dropped it. Like, I don't know if you'll be able to hear this if I get quiet on the mic, but this is how quiet it was in this building towards the end of this segment. Like, you would have been able to hear that in that building. It was that goddamn quiet. Nobody cared. And then we go into our main event. And we get freaking another match in this damn best of 7. I'm already over it, kind of. Like, the match itself was good, but I didn't like the finish. I thought the finish was kind of like, it was and wasn't creative. I honestly think like they tried too much. And they tried to do more than they needed, which in turn almost made it like they try, I don't know. But we carry on how wayward son. Don't you cry no more. I love the way that they have it to where it's like the light just behind them, the blue light. And you hear the music, carry on our wayward son. Don't you cry no more. And then he goes, and you have Omega going, right on cue. It's a well-produced like entrance. It's very well done. Very, very, very well done. Except for the part when the song gets really like low in sound. And then I'm almost like, they turn their music off? And then it comes back up first. And I'm like, oh, never mind. It's just a song. So then Death Triangle comes out. And they're doing their thing. Ugh. Then you got Phoenix with his cape on. Yeah. And then you got Pac just standing there. And before they can even take 2 steps, because Hammer Hantes runs out, yeah, man, you know, and here comes the Elite right up the ramp. They don't even want to waste any time. Please. So Pac was sent face first into the entrance, and Omega hit a Katara Crusher. The Bucks held Pac for a charging Omega V-trigger down the ramp, but Pac countered with a super kick. And the Lucha Bros took out the Bucks with a somersault cutter. This was really good. Like, Omega's running as fast as he can. He starts to jump for the V trigger, and then boom! Pac kicks him right in the face. This was great. All 6 men are brawling all around the entrance area, all around ringside. They're going. Pac hits a moonsault off the stage, and the Bucks hit Penta and Phoenix with dueling power bombs on the edge of the apron as the match finally officially begins. Rick Knox immediately was flattened with a super kick by Matt Jackson as Penta wiped the Elite out with a somersault dive. Alex Abrahantes handed Penta the hammer, and he's hiding it. He's got the little, like, Tarzan flap deal on his pants, so he's hiding it under that. And Phoenix tried to put a stop to it as Penta shoved his brother. But I'm like, really, guy? Didn't you use the hammer at the pay-per-view? What kind of morals you got saying, don't use the hammer? You know I use the hammer. Like, come on, guy. Come on, guy. Omega took out Phoenix with a V-trigger as Penta ate a double super kick and a snapdragon before Omega nailed a Kamigoye. The Elite had miscommunication a little bit by hitting Omega with a double corner kick as Death Triangle hit triple dives and Penta hit Omega with a Fear Factor for a 2. There's a super kick party from Matt that led to a locomotion Northern Light suplex before Pac wiped him out. Omega and Pac fought in the corner before Pac hit a headbutt with the protective mask and then an avalanche Falcon Arrow. Omega was isolated from his corner during a commercial break until Pac hit a German suplex, which Omega no-sold right into a lariat before collapsing. Phoenix and Nick got tagged in, and they went their mile-a-minute spots. You know what I'm talking about. Nick hit a Cazadora cutter and got a 2 off of it. Phoenix tried a double cross body on the Bucks, who caught him and hit more bang for your buck to get a close near fall. Pac and Penta put a stop to a BTE trigger as Omega fought them off until Phoenix flew in with a rolling cutter. The double stomp, Fear Factor on Nick connected, and the Lucha Bros took out Omega and Matt outside, and Pac got a 2 on Nick after a brainbuster. The Lucha Bros then held Nick and Omega from making the save as Pac went for the Black Arrow on Matt. Matt, though, got his knees up and kneed Pac right in the face. He then rolls them up. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Now, this took way too long to happen at the end because you've got Nick, who you can't see that Penta is holding him down. So it looks like Nick's just going, And you got Kenny kind of like scratching, but he's not moving anywhere. But at least you can see Phoenix holding him. And then, like, he kind of gets into the ring a little bit, but he's still, like, he's swimming. And Phoenix is holding him, but not really trying to pull him or anything. And then, like, Matt gets the knees up. Kenny then shifts his body and just lays there in front of Phoenix, so Phoenix can't jump into the ring. And Matt gets the pin. And all of a sudden you hear, oh my God, we've got a series. We've got a series on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. So it's just like, meh. I tried to do a little too much with the whole, well, Nick and Kenny are on the outside. They're trying to get into the ring, but they're being held back. But you can tell the guys holding them back aren't even trying to really hold them. They're just kind of like hugging them. We can't even see Penta. And yeah, I mean, this was, I wasn't a fan of the finish. I thought, it took way too long because Pac took his time to get to the top rope and he's like, yeah, Black Arrow. Need a face. And like Matt went to roll him up and his like hand slipped off of him. So they had to grab him again and hold him in a janky spot. Yeah. It's 2-1. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's going to end where it's going to come down to the last match in LA. It's got to. It's got to end in LA. Bucks win the titles and there we go. But that, ladies and gentlemen, was AEW Dynamite. As far as Rampage this week does go, we have a number of things announced. But we'll have a sit-down interview with Saraya. Orange Cassidy defends the All-Atlantic title against QT Marshall in a lumberjack match. Darby Allin will be taking on Cole Carter. We will hear from Swerve in Our Glory. Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett will be taking on the team of Private Party. And we will also be hearing from the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass. Also, I missed their segment. I forgot to talk about them because it was a fucking stupid segment. It meant nothing. Basically, Daddy Ass was supposed to be a drill sergeant, and they were like military people. And he's like, hey, what does AEW stand for? And freaking Bowens is like, hey, AEW stands for Elite every Acclaimed every Wednesday. And then he's like, and why are we standing, why are we not having matches in this next thing? There's nobody good enough to face us. Everyone is afraid to face the Acclaimed. And they're like, what are we going to do about that? And they're like, we're going to have a match. He's like, I got a plan. And Billy's like, okay, you going to tell me about your plan? He's like, well, yeah, but let me tell you about the plan. The plan is we're going to face the best tag team in all elite wrestling. The title's on the line. Billy's like, Well, no, you're not, because you're the best tag team. How can you face yourselves? And they're like, oh, no. We're going to face the second best tag team on Rampage. And they make it sound like the match is going to happen on Rampage. This was fucking stupid. They make it sound like the match is going to happen on Rampage. And then we hear later, we will hear from the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass on Rampage. I'm like, oh, okay. Also, as far as next week's Dynamite does go, we have the Dynamite Diamond Battle Royal. Tony Schiavone will have a sit-down interview with Jamie Hayter. And Claudia Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta will take on the team of Danny Garcia and Jake Hager. But with that, guys, that is everything that took place tonight on AEW Dynamite. Remember, if you want to be part of the show, you can do so by texting in to 510-906-1341. Again, that's 510-906-1341. Before we get into all of that, we have to check the polls. As far as the polls do go, Twitch poll, 83% liked the show, 17% didn't like the show. No, it was just all right. Just like I said, it's either really good or really bad. So people either liked it or didn't. No in the middles there, at least for the Twitch poll. As far as the Twitter poll does go, Twitter poll, 63% liked the show, 22% thought it was just all right, and 14% did not like it. And the YouTube poll, 65% liked the show, 21% thought it was just all right, and 14% didn't like it. Some of the comments here before we get to the text messages. First it says, all kinds of matchups still are super amazing. I can't wait to see Hangman versus Moxley. Yes, that match is going to be great. This person calls it an excellent episode. This person says the show was solid, 7 out of 10. This person says the most middest of mid episodes. And this person says I didn't watch. Well, then why the fuck are you commenting? Come on. Don't be dumb. Don't be a troll. As far as text messages, we only got 2 of them here. This person says, how long do you think MJF should be the world champion? Like in 6 months, 10 months, a year. I mean, I would not be opposed to a year. I don't think they'll do it, but maybe. Murder. And finally, this person says, ever since Kenny and the Elite came back, do you think, Ever since Kenny and the Elite came back, do you think he re-signed with the company? He who? Kenny and the Elite, their contracts aren't up till next year. He who? I have no clue what you're talking about. So that's going to end it on a question mark. I don't know who is. Who? With that, guys, I want to say thank you for joining me here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, or whether you're watching or listening later, whether that's YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, or podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. With that, guys, remember, I'll be back Friday morning for the wrestling wrap-up. Have a good day. Have a good rest of your week, night, whatever you want to say, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one, guys.